Welcome to week 4 of virtual sewing. Today we are going to finish our table topper. So you should have your tube of fabric with your 1/4 inch piece in the middle and your 1/2 inch piece that wraps around both sides to the back. So as you can see, I have a little bit of a overhang of fabric here. So you can just take your scissors, if you have an overhang, and just cut it off. And then you want to check the other side. My other side looks pretty good. All right, so now we want our 1/4 inch piece to be in the center of our fabric. So here you can see mine is a little bit bigger here than it is here. So I want to reach my hand in my tube and I want to kind of pull it so it looks even. Might need to go in from this side and pull it so it's even. Okay. All right. So once you get it pretty even, you're going to take it over to the ironing board and you're going to press it out, and you want to, as you go, it might be easier to make sure that this piece is in the middle. And then we'll start sewing. You should have your project completely pressed out with both sides even. Now we're going to flip our project over and look at the back. Okay, so you're going to take the bottom and you're going to fold it to the top so that both edges meet at the top. Okay, now we're going to look at our side edges. Okay, we should have our seams from the front and the back. They should match up. You're going to take your straight pins and we're going to pin this edge. Okay. All right, so you're going to do the exact same thing. We can move it over. We're going to do the exact same thing to this side. Okay. All right, now that we have both sides pinned, we're going to do our 1/2 inch seam allowance starting from here to here, and we're going to do it on both sides of the fabric. We're not sewing this top edge at all. We're only sewing both sides. Now when we get to the machine, you should be able to look at last week's video to look at how to position your machine for the 1/2 inch seam allowance. So we're just going to start doing that now. Okay, you should have your project lined up with your blue tape if you're using that. We want to be using a straight stitch. Okay, and we're going to put our needle down, put our presser foot down, start sewing. Back stitch when you begin, and then as you go, take out your pins. And back stitch when you get to the other end. Okay, we're going to do the same exact thing on the other side. All right, we're going to do the same exact thing we just did on the other side. So you're going to put your needle down, put your presser foot down. As we start sewing, you're going to back stitch and take out your pins as you go. When you get to the other end, don't forget to back stitch. All right? Okay, so you should have both your sides stitched with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I like to take my scissors and I like to trim my project, my seam allowance, in half. It's going to alleviate some of the bulk in our finished project. So you're just going to go straight down. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Just trim it in half. So now we should have, I like to call this like it looks like a boat in a way, like a canoe. So we should have this piece. We're gonna flip it over so that our 1/4" piece is facing us. And we're going to take we should have this little bit here that looks kind of like a triangle. We're gonna push it in. You can use a chopstick or your finger to press it in, okay? And then we're gonna fold it down, okay? So now that creates the triangle. So we're gonna show you again on this side. So looking at our 1/4" piece, we have this triangle. We're gonna push it in so we no longer see our seam that we sewed. We're gonna push it all the way in. You can use your chopstick. And then you're gonna fold out to get your triangle, okay? All right, so you wanna make sure that your triangle's even. You have it, it's not kind of like halfway up here. You have it even all the way down. So now you're gonna take this to your ironing board and give your whole project a good press. Okay, now that you've pressed out your project, I like to throw a couple pins in my project to hold down my triangle, like put one in the middle and 2 on each side. Do the same thing on this side. Okay. So it's extremely important for the next sewing step, which is actually the last sewing step, to sew with a thread that matches your project. So I'm going to be sewing with red because we're going to be sewing from here to here on both sides. So your thread is going to be visible in the finished product. Okay, so now we're going to start stitching our triangles down. But because our triangles start here and our tape is all the way over here, the 1/2" seam allowance isn't really going to work for this. So what I like to do is we have our needle in our middle position. I like to use the left edge of my foot, and I like to put it to the edge of the triangle piece and put my presser foot down. So you're going to sew with the left edge of your presser foot following the edge of your triangle piece. You want to back stitch when you start and just follow your edge of your foot all the way down. And back stitch when you get to the other end. Okay, we're going to do the same exact thing on the other side. Okay, so now at the other side, we're going to make sure that the left side of our presser foot matches up with the edge of our triangle. And put your presser foot down, and then you put your needle down. You want to make sure that you back stitch as you start and go all the way down, taking your pins out as you go. Back stitch when you get to the other side. Okay, now you should have a completed table runner. Great job. You want to give your final project a good press, and then you're ready to put it on any table or gift it as a gift. I decided that I'm going to give this to my cousin who has been making popsicle door hangers, so I think this will go really nice with her house. Next week, I'm going to show you how to attach a zipper into a dog treat bag. Thanks for watching.